And this is what it looks like when Enduro X takes over the Staples Center floor. Just 15 hours to build the course that will be battled on this evening. 4 nights, 4 different courses. Remember, this started out at Step Up, Best Whip, and Best Trick, and has morphed a number of times. And tonight, well, Enduro X men and women for the first time ever at the X Games, and to close it out strong, obstacle course racing on dirt bikes. If you haven't seen it before, well, you've been missing out. I promise you that, because I love this and I have been looking forward to it. My name is Cameron Steele. Alongside of me, 7-time Supercross champion, Mr. Jeremy McGrath. Dare I call him a legend? I think that is definitely proper. Aaron Bates will be bringing us the dirt from the floor of the Staples Center. So what is this new X Games competition called Enduro? We thought the best guys to answer this question would be the ones who throw down doing it.
EnduroCross is a mix between Supercross and Extreme Enduro.
It's just a fantastic spectacle. It's so unpredictable.
Tough obstacles, mistakes you can make, and just trying to find the balance between going fast and smooth.
EnduroCross track is mostly built out of logs, rocks, and tractor tires. The fastest guy over wins at the end of the race.
Besides just the obstacles, you know, the competitors can take you out.
Anything can happen. There's always going to be crashes and good overtaking maneuvers.
EnduroCross is really intense. It's a 12-minute main event, lots of action, and you just have to be super fit.
It's a hard sport. You must push yourself from beginning to the end.
Capitalizing on other people's mistakes and, you know, trying to be mistake-free yourself.
You got to be lucky a little bit out there.
EnduroCross is totally, you know, stocked up with awesome riders.
I love racing guys around, you know. It's 12 guys on the gate at the main, and you just really have to give it everything, you know.
It's tough racing, you know, a lapper or something, someone gets in your way, you get bottlenecked, you know, you don't get a good start or something.
And this is what I love about that sport, you know, we have to be so precise. On one hand, on the other hand, you have to take some risks.
You know, setting yourself up in the right places at the right time and being, you know, in it to win it type deal.
The sport keeps growing, and it's fun to be racing in the arena, to really show their skills to people.
And that is a glimpse, some of the hitters, and the course, I promise, will not disappoint. Enduro X starting lineup, 10 riders dropping in. Your fastest qualifier, Jeff Aaron. He'll get first choice on the gate. And just a number of big hitters here. Webb is the U.S. National Trials champion, and so many big hitters, it's hard to kind of quantify each one of them. But Jeremy, Enduro X for the first time ever, what do you think looking at it?
Well, it looks pretty technical. You know, these guys, the start is going to be so important. It's so slick up there on the wood. I'm pretty sure they have never done a 10-man start into this tight first corner.
And they are going to go hard right. The number 2, that is Jeff Aaron aboard the Honda. Kind of reminds me of Jeremy McGrath on the red number 2. Here they go, 10 riders. 2 will transfer, and that is Justin Soleil.
Wow.
On the number 3 machine, getting the whole shot. The number 7 is Colton Haker. He is down. I believe he was tangled up with Cody Webb, who is our U.S. Trials champion, the national champ from this year. And right now, Soleil doing work aboard the Monster Energy Kawasaki. He has moved to the front of the field, and he is followed by the GEICO Honda of Mr. Jeff Aaron. And look at Aaron. Now, Jeremy, something you may not be too familiar with, as they double jump into the water obstacle. Aaron does not double jump it. This is a section that's been very tricky. Down the rocks, over the big lumber, and then the hard left turn. You see Soleil, their tires are wet. Now, Jeff Aaron, what I was talking about, you may not be too familiar with, is the 2-wheel drive motorcycle that Jeff Aaron is using.
Yeah, he's running a 2-wheel, basically all-wheel drive dirt bike. And for these obstacles, for him, with the logs as sharp as they are, as big as they are, yeah, look at these guys, they're getting stuck here. This is where the 2-wheel drive comes into play.
Kyle Redmond, Jeff Aaron's teammate, and anybody and everybody can tip over and have problems at Enduro X. And this is a regular series, so this isn't something that just happens at the X Games. Look at this,
Soleil stuck on the log.
That's right, big lumber. That's 3 feet tall about. They have to pop up and over.
Yeah, we have us a battle now. Oh.
Aaron didn't jump in the first time. He jumped in that time. He has had 1 win on the series last year. The number 2 represents his second place finish in the series last year in 2010. So this is actually the first round of their 6th race series. So this is for points and for X Games Gold, which after talking to the riders, I'll tell you, they are excited about being here, Jeremy.
Yeah, you know, this track, this is a big race for these guys. And all of them I talked to also, they were really excited. And the funny thing about this is with the water the way it is, all the bikes start going, they start dragging the water, the track gets more difficult, and then they go up this hill, they got the logs, makes the logs really slick around the corner in the rocks, and that whole section's gonna get wet. So as the night goes on, these guys are gonna experience a little more trouble each lap.
And this is an excellent point that Mr. Jeremy McGrath makes. As the bikes continue along the course, they will drag water along. It will become more slippery. Of course, the bikes are a little wet there when they get to this section, but they haven't had to compete side by side with other riders on the course either. So sometimes you have to take a line you don't want to take. And Jeff Aaron, very methodical. We talked about it, our fastest qualifier. And Justin Soule giving chase.
The funny thing about Enduro X is you could be leading the race, have a fall, move back to 3rd, and then the guys in front of you could fall and you can move right back up in position. So it's because you have a tip over doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna go way to the back.
Right. Totally agree. And even if you do have a tip over, you can never give up, especially as the course gets more beat in. Like that sand pit there, well, that was groomed before they started riding, but it won't be groomed again in these heats. So it's going to become more and more technical. And you see Aaron there, even the leaders have problems in Enduro X. And Cody Webb, who you saw tangled up in the first corner, well, he's moved up to the 3rd position, but only 2 riders qualify. And Webb is now off camera right now. He is down in the corner, just a tip over. And like we said, anything and everything happens. I like to call it the ballet of chaos on dirt bikes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. We see Ricky Dietrich out there rolling around. He's obviously had some problems. I mean, it's hard to have a flawless race. Let's just say that.
The person that I see, because I do the entire series, that has a lot of flawless races is Jeff Aaron. Methodical thinking. He's a 10-time AMA Trials champion. And there's Soule having a problem again on the number 3 machine. So Aaron, the most championships of all time in trials. And so racing dirt bikes really isn't in his background, so to speak, but he has become more and more of a racer. And last year specifically working on his racing skills.
Yeah, you watch him ride around the track and he's just so calm. He's just confident and calm, and I think if you override this track, that's when you get into big trouble.
And that's something you mentioned, Ricky Dietrich. He likes to attack the track more. Right now, he's not a factor, but he is so good and so quick that he is always a possibility. So right now, Aaron and Soule have the transfer positions. Webb and Haker on the outside looking in. So we'll have 3 heats of 10 riders. 2 will transfer to the main event. The rest of the riders will go to 2 last chance qualifiers of 12 riders. That's right, we'll put 12 on the track at one time. And 2 will qualify from that, making a 10-man main event. And before the men's main event, we will have the ladies' main event. And Jeff Aaron coming to what will be the checkered flag. And that's right, checkers are out for Aaron over the log double jump.
A little styly there, looking good.
And you saw a number of tip overs there. And you saw, of course, the chaos that is the start of the race. And it will just become more and more. And then the 3 fastest qualifiers are in 3 separate heats. So you will see them all together, presumably, in the main event if they all can qualify in those short number.
Yeah, we saw what happened on the start, though. So anything can happen. You just never know. That sharp right-hander at the bottom of the start there is very technical.
And that's, we saw a quick glimpse of Gary Sutherland, number 6, one of the favorites on the series. And he had a baby last night at 3:30 in the morning. Well, his wife did. And you can see Soule with a great jump. And Aaron almost gets tangled up there. Steps up and over. Dietrich was 3rd to the log. And that's Haker and Webb down. And here's where Soule had a problem. He slowed down for the big lumber. You can see the bike high-centered on the cases. And Aaron comes along and says, I'll take first place.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, and went on smooth victory there, no problem.
And you can see the gap here, and that's Dietrich, who they're lapping, who's having problems there. But Dietrich, a pretty smart character. He knows if he's back quite a bit, he might save his energy for later because he'll be riding in the LCQ. Jeff Aaron, Justin Soule, they move on. Heat number 2 coming up when we come back. The X Games 17 and Enduro X.